It's been 5 years since the first locomotive ran on the Blairgowrie Forest Railway.
Please let it go all the way.
Other way.
Much has changed since the original design. The garden is starting to recover since the build, and some plants either have died or been moved. With the hot South African climate, the 16mm gauge of parts of the railway has changed. This is beautifully demonstrated by the wobble of the locomotive as the wheels are pushed out of the gauge. I reckon this is why this particular locomotive was involved in a serious accident in December of 2020 when it came off the rails for no apparent reason and fell to the ground, damaging the locomotive. During the winter months, the locomotive was repaired and back on the rails by July 2021. Found at a swap meet in Benoni in 2015, this 30-year-old Hornby model of a Midland Railways compound locomotive in shiny black plastic is a potential Cinderella. The model first appeared in a stunning Midland Railways crimson with running number 1000 in Hornby's catalogue of 1981. The catalogue number was R376 and a total of 2,500 models were produced. In 1986, a British Railways black model was introduced with running number 41043. A total of about 3,660 models were produced under the catalogue number R175. Looking at the model, there isn't much wrong with it. The crudely scratched British Railways on the tender could easily be repaired. A bit of modeller's filler could do the trick. The front of the tender was improved with the help of some drawings and comparing it with other similar tender models I have already got. The addition of some of the details like fire iron brackets, fire irons, tender brake and water scoop handles improve the look of the tender immensely. Some modifications to the locomotive were also carried out to give it a more LMS look of a locomotive built at the Derby Works in 1924. The horrible marker lamp at the front of the smoke box was the first to go. The shape of the Midland dome was modified to suit the LMS design to clear the loading gauge of some Scottish lines. The reverse rod was moved from the right-hand side of the Midland locomotive to the left, making the locomotive a left-hand drive. The horrible 1980s D tension lock couplings were removed and replaced with a pair of Romford screw couplings. Finally, brake hoses were added before adding a coat of black paint over the whole model. Buffer beams and whistle were picked out in Humbrol signal red, silver, and gold paint. The appropriate decals give this model an individual touch. This project, after a slow start, eventually turned out to be a lot of fun. Over the past few years, I have enjoyed myself in weathering of locomotives, wagons, and buildings, all to give them a more realistic appearance. After enjoying watching other YouTube channels with their locomotive cab ride footage of their railways, I purchased 2 of these cheap Chinese cube cameras for myself. What a waste of money! The first one never worked. The second worked for a period of time, but all I managed to film was this lousy footage of about a minute.
Hey, hey.